Okay, we are live and welcome everyone to the episode 2 of the Art of Failing podcast. Today we have here Sunny Sawant with us, who is an entrepreneur. He has his own digital marketing company that has done over $10 million in revenue for his clients, and he has generated thousands of leads for them. He has an MBA in marketing and human resources, and a very young and talented guy who is here with us to share his story of failure for all of you to learn from him. So, welcome to the show, Sunny.
Yeah, thank you, Shah.
Thank you so much. And I would like to request you to give a brief intro in your own words. I know I did the intro for you, but we would like to hear from you.
Yeah, yeah, man. I just want to congratulate you, Shah, because you doing podcast on failures. It's very rare, right? I mean, nobody speaks about failures, and I mean, they are always hesitating to come forward talking about their failures because they're always scared. I mean, if they talk about failures, they always feel that they are going to again go down, or again they're going to face some negative errors in their life, and that's a good start. I mean, it is going to help a lot of people like young entrepreneurs, business entrepreneurs like us, and people who are watching this. It's definitely going to help them a lot,
Yeah, definitely,
man. Yeah.
definitely. And thank you so much for your kind words. I think failure is an extremely important part of the journey. It's like maybe 70 or 80% of our story. People don't like to talk, and that's what we are trying to cover through this podcast. So, going back to
Mhm.
you, can you please elaborate? Can you please introduce yourself a bit?
Yeah. So yeah, let me start with the education, okay, and what I'm doing right now. So I completed my bachelor degree in business administration, that is BBA, and went on to pursue master in business administration, that is MBA. So after I completed that, I worked in a corporate for another 3 years. Then I followed my passion, that is marketing, which is digital marketing, and I started my own successful digital marketing agency, and we have achieved a remarkable results with revenues ranging from 6 to 7 figures. And I'm excited here today to share my journey and insights with all of you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, moving to our questions here. Okay, can you share a
Mhm.
significant failure that you have experienced in your life?
Okay, so this failure, I'm 100% sure nobody talks about this failure, but this is like an early failure to me when I started during my college days. Okay, so the one significant failure that deeply impacted my life is during my PUC days. That is during college days. Okay, and I was completely absorbed in the world of gaming. Right, when we are in teenage age, when we are in college age, we always game a lot. Okay, I used to game like 16 hours a day. I used to play Dota. I used to play CS:GO. Like I was hardcore gamer, right? And I thought of being an crazy professional gamer. Okay, I was almost there, but the ambition, right? However, proved to be a double-edged sword. Okay, it gave me like pros. It also gave me cons because the con was extremely difficult one. It I failed PUC2 for 3 years, so I continuously failed for 3 years PUC2. Okay, I could not get past to that just because of gaming. I used to
Uh,
continuously game. Okay,
Sorry, is it what is a PUC2?
so PUC2 is something that you do after 10th standard, right? That is
Oh,
11th,
so it's
12th.
like an entry exam for university?
Yeah, it's 11th, 12th. That's it.
11, 12th. Okay. So
Yeah,
it's basically
yeah.
high school.
So
You failed high school.
yeah, basically high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's really important phase of life, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
clear 12th, or else it's very hard to get into degree college. And yeah, so continuing my story, while the gaming improved my gaming skill, it also acted as a distracting element. Okay, causing me to divert from my academics. So this period of my life stands as a stark reminder of how important uh, is to balance our passions with responsibilities and not let one overtake the other.
Definitely, definitely. So basically,
Mhm.
yeah, I think a lot of young generation is into gaming, and my
Yeah.
own nephew is obsessed with Taken. So,
Hmm.
I was with him last year, January till I think June, and we used to play
Hmm.
Tekken a lot. And I was
Yeah.
beating him, but he got so better. Towards the end, he started beating the hell out of me, and I think he's really pushing it hard. So I think it's a good thing from one end, but obsession with it, until and unless you have a very clear plan, you're either becoming a professional gamer or developer or something
Hmm.
similar, or you're making your bread and money out of it through YouTube or Facebook gaming streams. I don't think getting into games is a very good idea because it takes away a huge amount of time, like you mentioned, and it affected your career.
Yes.
And just like you mentioned, that time period where you mentioned failure, I lost my engineering because not because of the gaming,
Gaming.
because I was obsessed with a girl, so it destroyed my education cycle.
That happens
And
to
I couldn't
everyone,
become
man.
an engineer.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so moving to our second question. So, what factors do you
Mhm.
think contributed to this failure? I know you mentioned gaming. Were there any
Mhm.
external or internal factors that played a role?
Yeah, I mean, see, there were many factors when it comes to when I failed in 12th standard, because one major factor I would love to talk about is my friends. They passed on to the 12th, they moved to their engineering, and that's where I got backed a little bit, because when your friends move to the a different part of life and you are lagged behind, it's something that distresses you a lot. And yeah, you go in a room and you think a lot about it, what to do now, how to do now, how to get out of it now, because you have lost 3 years in studies and it's very difficult. And one more thing, the good thing is about my parents, they never said anything about my failure. My dad used to say
Wow,
that yeah, my dad used to say, I knew he would feel bad, but he had back he said this in front of me, that don't feel bad, nothing is impossible. He always kept saying this, nothing is impossible. And I kept going, and that's what I liked about the positive and negative part of it, right?
that's fantastic. I think it's very rare to find parents that are supportive, especially when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to, I'm not generalizing overall, but when it comes to education, my mother, she was very strict, and she whenever I would fail exam, I have failed a lot in my university life.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was okay. I mean, it's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I would fail exam, my mother would say that uh,
Mm-hmm.
this failure of exam is more painful than the death of my brother. And I was like, what what kind of comparison
Mm-hmm.
is this? And she would make a whole scene, and that led me to a point where I started hiding my failure. I would fail an exam,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would then share it with her, because I know that it's going to be a very big scene at home. But you having parents like that and being supportive, I think that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so and how did this failure impact your personal and professional life?
Okay, now most of my friends, okay, as I told you, who finished college on time, they always go on to conventional path. Like either they go to the doctors, they to get the doctor degree, or either they go to the engineer to get the engineering degree. Okay, without really knowing if they really wanted to get those degrees. Okay, and for me, spending extra 3 years in college actually helped me grow. Few people will say that. Failing is something they'll always if you meet my friends, right, I've heard from their friends that don't get into don't make friendship with this guy because he has failed 3 years, which will also impact your life. And something, that always kept that hit that always hit my mind every time I used to be with my old friends. So the best thing, I always stayed away from them, and I completely spent 3 years with my new friends. Okay, now after I finished my college, after 3 years, when I finally completed my 12th, okay, my past failures made me think more about what I wanted for my future. Okay, and I learned how important to take time to think about decisions before making them. That's really important in life, to take your time to make your own decisions, or else if you're just going with the flow, you will go with the flow and you'll end nowhere, right? And in the end, I decided to do or study my business, to pursue my degree in business marketing, or yeah, business marketing. So because that's where I really wanted to focus on, I started watching YouTube, and I started watching like self improvement videos, and I really thought to myself that business is something that I want to do, because I don't know, marketing is something is really innovative. It keeps changing, and it's very creative. It's very hard to adapt, right? And and
Definitely very
yeah,
creative.
yeah, and being a gamer, right? We always love challenges, and that's where I thought this is a good industry to be in. Okay, and yeah, and I wouldn't have learned this if I hadn't failed before. And it's really and it's been really important in shaping my life.
I think it's a very very big shift, because becoming a digital marketer and starting your own business around it, and uh, like I said, you have generated over $10 million in revenue for your clients. That's a very big deal. It's not something that is easy to
Yeah.
achieve, especially through running ads for customers in such age and time. It's very challenging, because
Mhm.
this is not 2012, 2015, 2017.
Yeah,
Those were the
times have
golden
changed.
days when it was easy. You would put any kind of details in the Facebook, press the button,
And
and
you
run
get
the
it.
ad, and you would get the results. So
Yeah, yes,
I think
yes.
you're doing it now. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So moving to next question. So looking back, what do you think were the major missteps that led to this failure?
I wouldn't say I made mistakes, because I see these things as a failures on purpose. They help me learn more about my life, and how it can change my life, right? And during 12th, I wasn't sure about what I wanted at first. I wanted to be a professional gamer, then I wanted to be a pilot. It always kept changing the ambitions, right? And these changing dreams and the failures that came with them taught me a lot. And I always remember this quote. I'm really fond of these inspirational quotes, right? And I always keep saying to myself that this was quoted by Winston Churchill. He said that success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Okay, and this means that doing well once doesn't mean you'll always succeed, and failing once doesn't mean it's the end. Okay, the important thing is to keep trying no matter what happens in your life. So this quote really helped me understand how important it is to keep going in life, and even when things are tough or change.
Definitely. I think this is a very beautiful quote, and I'm on and off
Mm,
with Churchill, but I do love what he says, because he's a warhead, and those who
yeah.
have been into wars, they really understand how
Mm.
to keep moving forward. So yeah, okay. And how did this failure affect you emotionally, and how did it influence your relationship, both personally and professionally?
So the experience, it had a big impact on me, both emotionally and socially, because it was really hard feeling I was behind with all my friends were moving on. Okay, so just that thought alone was tough to handle. And what made even harder was, as I said, even my parents were upset. Uh, they never say they are upset, because you can feel that emotions that they are upset, right? So it's never easy seeing the people you care about feeling down, especially if it's because of something that you have made, that your own mistake, right? And the change also affected my social life. As I started a new college, obviously I went into BBA, my degree college. Everyone was juniors, 3 years juniors to me, and I was a senior. Okay, and I had to meet new people, make new friends. I didn't have my old friends around, so this was a new challenge for me, a new environment, totally different generation. But this change wasn't all bad. It was also a chance for me to grow a person. I had to step out of my comfort zone and learn how to fit into whole new group of people. So obviously, the changes made me stronger and helped me adjust to the new situations.
And did it change your friend circle and relationships dramatically?
Yes, I mean, obviously, when you first go to I mean, when it's your first month at the college, right? I mean, the degree college, it's very hard to get customized with the people, with the new people. It took a time. I spoke to one guy, I spoke to third guy, then it started growing eventually. Uh, yeah, but I can say I have made like a whole group of friends. I have like crazy amount of friends right now.
Definitely, definitely. And I think this change is important somehow, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is very important, right? I mean, people don't talk about failures at all. And people at our age and people who are at 20s, 21, 23, 24, they really need to understand, or even if they don't fail, they have to fail in purpose to understand how it really impacts your life. Because you got to fail, guys. If you don't fail, it's very hard to get into situations where you don't like to be.
Definitely. And just to add on to it, I think it's one of my family members that I told this to, and that person had never failed. And I told them that usually I think those who fail early are the lucky ones because you get to experience how to adjust with it, how to live with it. But
Mhm.
if you have not failed and you have been this great success in school and in university and you had all this fame and everything, when it hits you later
Mhm.
in life, you're scared so much and you end up doing something very stupid, you know.
Yeah,
And I think this is
completely true.
I think the sooner you get, the more you get, the more you get, the more normalized the failure becomes, right? I don't know why people treat it as a very taboo. Like even I told you, I invited someone for the podcast,
Mhm.
and they said, they're not comfortable
Mhm.
talking about it. So even inviting people to the podcast for to talk about their failure is a challenge because people are not comfortable about that, and hats off to you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of, Shah. I mean, see, I mean, I know hundreds of people have failed their college life, but they are scared to come up and tell that they have failed, right? I mean, it's really important because you need to inspire other people who have failed, who are trying their best to come up, right? So it's really important to speak about failures.
Definitely, definitely. And this basically brings us towards the end of our podcast, and we have already discussed
Mhm.
the benefits of failure. What would be
Mhm.
your imparting advice to those who are watching? And generally, it's the young people. What would be your advice to them? What to do in life?
See, to the young generation or the people who are watching this, I would tell them that do something that you love because, see, if you're in college or if you're in school, it's important to complete your education because uh, it's not like you read Bill Gates' quote that he dropped out of the school, but these guys already had something in their mind. They used to study day in, day out. It's not like they went out to the parties, they enjoyed, and they became millionaires in a day. So you really need to sit and think what you want to become and put your whole heart into it and get perfect into it and start doing practical experiments with that niche or in that industry. And once you start getting that feel that I'm good, I'm doing okay, so that's when you make the move. So that's what I did, right? I started the digital marketing in the year 2017 and 2018. I never jumped like these people do, right? Some of the people they straight away jump into the digital marketing. They start showing their awards. We know how they get awards, right? And they start showing the awards and they start advertising. I mean, it's really bad impressions, right? I mean, these people think they can. This impact will fall on the people who are watching it, and they can think they can do it too. It's really bad. So, what my suggestion would be: sit in a room, think what you want to do, make your strength, make SWOT analysis. That's the best way to analyze yourself. That is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And see where your strengths are, see where your weaknesses are, and go with the strengths. And later you can improve your weaknesses. And think what you want to do and get perfect into it. And later you can make a big leap. Okay, so that's what I want to say.
That's awesome advice, and I definitely agree with the SWOT analysis. Those who don't know, you can just go and Google it. It's a very simple model. A lot of
Yeah.
big companies use it, and I highly recommend it as well. And thank you so much, Sunny. It was awesome having you here on the podcast, and we would love to hear from you. Hopefully, when I continue this podcast somewhere down the line, I would like to invite you back.
Yeah, thank you, Shah. It was completely new experience, and this was my first podcast, and I can't thank you enough. And this was all about failures. Maybe you can do next podcast about something entrepreneur podcast or marketing podcast. I'd be happy to jump in and share my insights to the audience and you as well, man.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Sunny. Have a good day.
Thank you, Shah. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.